Rebel Alpha. ALOHA Shifters, Pearls of Desire, Book 5. She dreamed of gazing into dark, mysterious eyes, so full of love they made her ache. Cal. She closed her eyes, reliving the sights, sounds, scents. So intensely that she imagined the crunch of gravel under motorcycle tires in the driveway. She even imagined the scent of leather and sandalwood wafting through the air. For a few quiet minutes, she let herself pretend that it was all true, that she'd never been forced to part with her true love, that everything had worked out the way her 20-year-old self had so desperately desired. Then a quiet voice broke into her thoughts, snapping her out of her reverie. "Cynthia?" She didn't turn until the burn of a blush faded from her cheeks. As co-alpha of this mixed shifter pack, she wasn't supposed to act like a cat in heat, or a lonely widow who still pined for her first love. Slowly, she composed herself and turned, linking her hands at her waist like the prim lady her mother had raised. "Yes?" Anjali stood on the porch, peering in without actually stepping inside, which was strange. The first floor of the house was communal space, and everyone came and went as they pleased. Only Cynthia's private quarters on the upper story were off limits. So why did Anjali, calm, confident Anjali, seem so nervous and unsure? Anjali glanced back as Del came up the stairs behind her. His shoulders were squared, and his usual smile was gone, as was the habitual sparkle in his eyes. Another heavy step sounded on the porch stairs as Tim, the bear shifter, joined him. Cynthia stood straighter. Something was definitely up. But what? A flash of panic made her think of Joey, but when she reached out with her mind, she sensed laughter and joy as he played on the neighboring estate. So Joey was safe, thank God. "What is it?" "Someone is asking to see you," Anjali said. Del shot his mate a concerned look. "I was going to turn the guy away, but Anjali thinks—" He trailed off, and Cynthia frowned. What did Anjali think? "You know I would never bring an outsider here," Anjali explained. "But I think—" "I think he's trouble," Connor growled from outside. "He? Who he?" Cynthia stepped to the doorway, surprised to see everyone there. Haley and Tim, the bear shifters, were on the porch stairs, looking fierce. Jenna and Sophie were on ground level, shooting Anjali bolstering looks. The women appeared to be in favor of the visitor, whoever it was, while the men were all on edge, including Chase and Connor, who stood in the driveway, holding another man in place. Together they pinned his arms behind his back like a criminal caught in a dastardly act. Anjali moved aside, and Cynthia strode to the edge of the porch, looking down. The visitor stared silently up at her, and it was a good thing there was a porch column for Cynthia to grab for support. There really was a Triumph Thruxton parked in the driveway, and the man who'd arrived on it was a vision straight out of her dreams. He was older, wearier, wiser, like her, no doubt. Handsome as ever, in that roguish way that kept most people at arm's length. He was harder and tougher than when they'd first met, as if the invisible armor he wore had grown even thicker in the intervening years. Had he pined for her the way she'd pined for him? Had he shed even a quarter of the tears she had? Or did he loathe her for what she'd been forced to do, the way she loathed herself at times? Cal Zeidler, road rider, wolf shifter. "Mate," her dragon cried. "Cal," she whispered in spite of herself. His smoky gray eyes gave nothing away, and neither did his deep, unwavering voice. "Cynthia," he murmured. in a tone so low it might have been a whisper on the wind.